written by Senator Sumner, who wrote them and addressed them in Boston, United States. And what I offer is just a mere morsel of what he said. Today we eulogize Abraham Lincoln. No academy, no alma mater of science or learning nourished him. No government took him by the hand and gave him the gift of opportunity. Plain in person, life, and manners. He grew up in companionship with nature, with trees, with the fruitful corn, and with the stars. In 1834, he was elected to the legislature of Illinois, and 3 years later was admitted to the practice of the law. Faithful in all things, he acquired a name for honesty which became proverbial throughout his state. At a later day, he was in Congress for a single term beginning in December of 1847. His speeches during this brief period are argumentative, logical, and spirited. His voice was constant against slavery. This champion of the right insisted upon the exclusion of slavery from the territories, and after he did summon his countrymen to their duty, he was nominated as candidate for president. His inaugural address, his earliest acts, his daily conversation all attest to the spirit of moderation with which he approached his perilous position. But the madness of slavery knew no bounds. He was determined from the beginning that the Union should be broken. A pretend power was organized in the form of a confederacy, with slavery as its declared cornerstone. The rebels attacked Fort Sumter. After some 34 hours of battle, our national flag fell. This was the 13th of April, 1861. Rebel slavery stood face to face in deadly conflict with the Declaration of Independence, when the president, with unconscious power, dealt another blow, second only to the Proclamation of Emancipation. This was at the blood-soaked field of Gettysburg. It was a simple speech before fellow citizens, gathered for its consecration to the memory of those who had fallen there. His re-election was a triumph. In the midst of war, the people at the ballot box deliberately selected the civilian. He saw the land of slavery enveloped by the national forces, and on the morning of Friday, the 14th of April, 1865, in the intimacy of his family, the president said, "This day the war is over." That night, he became a martyr. Traitorous assassination struck him down. But reserve your rage for the responsible power, which has assassinated our president, and this is none other than slavery. Do not, I entreat you, yield amnesty to this murderous wickedness. Let slavery be the victim. And also that other pretension, no less irrational and hateful, that human rights depend on color. Mourn not the dead, but rejoice in his life and example. Rejoice as you point to this child of the people who was lifted so high. Rejoice that through him emancipation was proclaimed. Huzzah! Rejoice that under him government of the people, by the people, and for the people. obtained a final verdict, never to be set aside or questioned. And on this block, we will gratefully inscribe the name Abraham Lincoln. A moment of silence, friends, a moment of silence.
This is the legacy of our great emancipator. This is what Abraham Lincoln has wrought, though he shall not be here to see the fruits of his labor. Thank you all for coming, and I enjoin you. Remember Lincoln! Remember Lincoln!
Johnny comes marching home again, hurrah, hurrah. We'll give him a hearty welcome then, hurrah, hurrah. The men will cheer, the boys will shout, the ladies they will all turn out, and we'll all feel gay when Johnny comes marching home. And we'll all feel gay when Johnny comes marching home. Get ready for the Jubilee, hurrah, hurrah. We'll give the hero 3 times 3, hurrah, hurrah. The Lord is ready now to place upon his loyal crown. We'll all feel gay when Johnny comes marching home. And we'll all feel gay when Johnny comes marching home.